Okay, now we're going to look at parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines that never touch, and they're the same distance apart every time, and they are on the same plane. This right here is called a transversal. A transversal is a line that crosses a set of two lines. You notice on these, they are not parallel, but they can be parallel, like in this picture. This is called the transversal. And in this picture, this is the transversal, so they can be with parallel lines or not parallel lines. In the picture, a transversal creates interior and exterior angles. Angles that lie within two parallel lines, these would be the angles 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in this picture, let's color in here. Anything between the two lines are called interior angles. Anything on the outside is called exterior, whether it's above that line or below that line. They are exterior angles. So in our picture, angles that lie outside the two parallel lines would be 1, 2, 7, and 8. So these angles relationships may exist without parallel lines, but they only create congruent or supplementary if the two lines are parallels. The relation takes 3 lines, okay? So before, we didn't have to have 3 lines in the picture. You only have to have 2. These angle relationships require 3 lines. So alternate interior are between parallel lines and on opposite sides. So the word alternate is similar to the word opposite sides. So opposite sides, and they're between. So interior has to be between the two lines, and opposite sides could be like 3 and 6 are on opposite sides of the transversal. Or we could use 5 and 4. 4 and 5. So some key things, they are inside the parallel lines but lie on opposite sides of the transversal. They are congruent. These angles are equal to each other. Okay? The next one is called alternate exterior. So exterior in this picture would be on the outside of the parallel lines. So exterior, we could say 1 and 8 are alternate exterior. They're on opposite sides of the parallel lines and on the outside. Another pair could be 2 and 7. My little okay. So we have outside the parallel lines and on opposite sides. They are also congruent, which means equal to each other. Okay, we have a couple more here, special angle types. We have consecutive. Consecutive means on the same side of, let's change the color, same side of the transversal. So consecutive interior, remember interior is between the lines. So consecutive interior would be like 3 and 5. They're on the same side of the line and interior. Another set could be 4 and 6. They have to be on the same side of that transversal. These are consecutive interior. All right, the last special type, clearly some things. I'm going to cross off here a linear pair. These angles are supplementary, which means that they add up to 180 degrees. Because it used the word interior, they have to be inside the lines and on the same side of the transversal. Okay. Corresponding angles. Corresponding refer to they're in the same location, but on opposite sides of the parallel lines. Let's just put this? So like 1 and 7 are in the same position. I don't know what that means, but, or sorry, 1 and 5 are in the same position. They are on what I'd call the left-hand side of the transversal, and they're both on top of the parallel lines. So basically, this is one of the only times you have an interior and an exterior angle mixed together, where like the 1 is on the exterior and the 5 is on the interior. So they have to be in the same position, and one of them is an interior and one of them is on the exterior. So the reason we have so many sets here, we could say 3 is in the same position as 7. They're both on the left-hand side. And one is interior, one is exterior. Same spots. Let's do yellow. So 2 would match with 6. Okay. And then let's just pick a different color that's not, so let's do purple. Okay, let's say 4 and 8. Alright, so these are also congruent or equal to each other. So now we're going to take these pictures below, and we're going to see if we can identify whether they are alternate exterior, alternate interior, vertical, linear pair, corresponding, or consecutive interior. This is something that you will probably want to make flashcards for, because there are so many different types of angle relationships. Okay, so in this picture, I noticed both these angles are between the lines, so I'm going to say that is interior. Okay, and they're on the same side, so same side, and interior means they are called consecutive interior angles. Okay, the next one, they share a vertex. They don't use all 3 lines, they only use 2 lines. So these are called vertical angles. There where 2 lines cross create vertical angles. The next pair, they are right next to each other and they form a straight line. If they form a straight line, then that's called a linear pair. You notice that one we didn't use all 3 lines either. We only used these 2 lines, so that's a linear pair. Okay, got a couple more here. This one, they're both touching this line, which is called the transversal, and they're on the interior, but this time they're on opposite sides of the interior. Opposite sides interior, we use the word alternate interior. Alright, let me see if I can drag this back down here. Okay, and the last one we have, it looks like they're on the same side, but one, if this is the interior and this is the exterior, I have one on each of those. So this one is called corresponding.